Well, everyone, it's Shane Conto, your Wasteland reviewer, and welcome to Wasteland Talks, my weekly talk show where I talk about whatever the hell I want. And this week, our segment is My Life in Film. So, we're my guest. We're going to go every year they've been alive and pick out their favorite film from each of those years. And joining me is one of my best friends and one of the members of the movie club. It's Matt Williams. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Shane. Appreciate it always.
Absolutely. And you were born in 1992. So we're going to turn the clock back to 1992. Yep,
Or
there we go. And we're in 1992. Matt, what is your favorite film from 1992?
so I actually have the VHS for it. And my VHS player sometimes works, but it's for A Scent of a Woman.
Okay.
It's a great movie. Philip Seymour Hoffman is in it. Um, Obviously Al Pacino. Wow, that's where that comes from.
Ah,
Like it's a fantastic movie, like from start to finish. And yeah, I know we can't. We're not gonna go do like a whole review of each one of these movies because that's 32 movies. But
yeah, it's not going to
Central,
take a long. We're not going to dive too deep, but yes, it is a moving drama. Al Pacino is endlessly entertaining. Are you finished, Colonel Slade? No, I'm just getting warmed up.
oh yeah, with the ending,
And
yeah, the trial, yeah, mhm.
I love to quote that whole entire scene because Al Pacino is just straight cooking. Exercise his soul. And just him and Chris O'Donnell, who's a youngin, and yes, Philip Seymour Hoffman, such a little shit in that. But yes, Scent of a Woman. Al Pacino got his Oscar for it.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's an interesting choice, beating Malcolm X's Denzel Washington and Clint Eastwood for Unforgiven. But that's 1992. How about 1993?
I'm gonna go Rudy. I'm gonna go Rudy. Anytime I hear that theme, like every time I hear that theme, it's both like rousing. Like every time I'll see the what is it the what is he like the custodian or like the not the janitor, I guess like the groundskeeper when you see like that
Mm-hmm.
gif of somebody's doing
Yeah.
like there's like so many random things that I like about that movie, but I think that me not being a sports fan, I feel as moved, sometimes even like to tears. There's like there's a lot of moments where it's like
Mm-hmm.
it's a drama. Where I feel I can almost imagine how it must feel to be a sports fan watching this, or just like watching this like a game and you have like a lot like emotion like riding on it. It's a
Mm-hmm.
really rousing movie. I think everyone should watch it at least once.
Much to my surprise, Matt picked a sports movie. But it is a very
I think I was gonna
moving
choose
and
like Space Jam
inspiring.
or something.
Uh,
So you
Come
think I'm
on
gonna
and
choose Space?
slam,
Yeah.
take it to the jam. Um, that was my first ever movie. Second movie ever in a theater was Space Jam. Um, but Rudy is a moving film. Sean Astin's so great. Just looked it up. Didn't remember John Favreau's in that. Um,
He's really funny
interesting.
in that. Like really funny actually in that
Mhm.
movie. Yeah.
How about 1994?
Uh Pulp Fiction.
I
Pulp
figured.
Fiction. Pulp Fiction is what can I say? I think I heard Kevin Smith say something like, you witness true art when you feel like you want to go out and make some of your own. When I saw Pulp Fiction, which was interesting because I was like bored one weekend in high school, and I was like, okay, let's just watch like Kill Bill, and then I had some more time to kill because like a Sunday, I was like, oh, let's watch like Kill Bill Volume Two because that was great, and then I wanted to watch Pulp Fiction because like why not? Let's just like see what the rest of this director's got, and I fell asleep halfway through. I don't know why. And then like went back to the back and like rewatched the whole thing again. It's fantastic. Pulp Fiction is top five favorite film like of all time. It's funny, it's violent. Uh, yeah, it's just it's a great movie. Also, probably in my opinion, the best monologue in film by Samuel L. Jackson, who deserved the supporting actor, like both nomination and even though he didn't win, I feel like he deserved the win, but he didn't get it. Like that Ed Wood movie that I don't really like so much, like got it, whatever. But like, yeah, fantastic, fantastic movie. Pulp Fiction. Everyone
Similar
wants
to Samuel L. Jackson, Matt has not let it go. Um, which,
true, very
which
true.
yes, Samuel L. Jackson was amazing in Pulp Fiction, and yes, two scenes in particular, like that whole thing at the beginning with his whole fiery speech, and then that monologue or that speech at the end is just incredible. And I'm like, how do they not give him this Oscar? Because Martin Landau was due one. But how about 1995?
95. I mean, thankfully, let me see. Didn't see that. Could have seen that. Didn't see that. Yeah, I'm going through my list of movies that were from the '90s that I'm happy that I didn't see when they actually came out because that would have been bad. But my number five is Seven.
Um, you can see that in IMAX. Coming back out in IMAX the first week of January.
For real.
Yeah.
Text me. Text me later, please. I put
Yep.
on Google Calendar. No, Seven. What do I think of Seven? I think everything from the odd opening credits of like the weird grungy techno kind of like music and like
You
the
mean like
close
the
up.
Nine Inch Nails opening?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like from that all the way to what's in the box, or even the ending line where I think Morgan Freeman says he's like quoting someone else and he says like humanity is inherently good and worth fighting for. Well,
It's like,
I believe the second part.
mm-hmm.
Like fantastic movie, fantastic
Yep.
movie. Cat and mouse, the whole thing. Also very violent. Also very violent. But yeah, great movie, great movie.
Sloth will always scare me, and lust will always disturb me to the core. And just that moment where Kevin Spacey just screams, "Detective!" And he's just standing there with his bloody hands and everything. It's just like, that movie is special.
I
And
wish,
that
I wish yeah, no, I wish that Kevin Spacey like didn't like turn out to
wasn't a
be
shitty human being.
yeah, it didn't turn out to be kind of like a predator.
Yep.
Because he's up there with like some of my favorite actors, or at least was like up there as being like one of my favorite actors like of all time. Like he was so good in that movie, and also in a bunch of other movies too. Glengarry
Yep.
Glen Ross and
Yep.
American Beauty, and like all this other random crap. And it's
The
like
Usual Suspects.
usual sus Kaiser, so sad. Yeah, like oh man, yeah, that's a whole other thing. But yeah,
That is a
Seven.
whole other thing. How about 1996?
uh, what did they say? Don't you know? Did they say that? I feel like they say that like multiple times in the movie. It's been a couple of years with
You
Fargo.
betcha, yeah.
Yeah, betcha. Yeah, yeah. Funny looking. Well, give me a little bit more. I don't know. He's just funny looking.
Funny looking how? Just funny looking.
Uh,
Yeah, we're talking about Fargo.
some of
So,
Fargo. Fargo. Fargo's a great movie. I think Frances McDormand was actually pregnant. Like I'm almost positive she was actually. I need to Google that again, but I'm almost positive she was actually pregnant. She's
she
so
did
Frances
actually win an Oscar. So there you go.
100%. Like Steve Buscemi, William H Macy, um, all of them are doing like their own odd things, trying to figure out like a case, and they're all kind of like converging and intersecting. Well, they're about to intersect, and at the very
Mm.
end, then kind of like the powder keg goes off. It's a great movie. The dialogue is easily some of like the most darkest and
Hmm.
funniest. In my opinion, that's the best Coen Brothers movie. Um, if for nothing else, it made me afraid of wood chippers.
So that was your partner there in the wood chipper then?
Yeah, that was. See, it's like a foot. It's a foot. Ah, yeah.
Just Francis McDormand, Steve Buscemi, William H. Macy, Peter Stormare. Just everybody was so great in that. And it's so funny and it's so messed up and so twisted, but yet hopeful in some kind of bleak kind of way. And I was listening to Steve Buscemi talking about the Coens, and they wrote that role for Steve Buscemi because apparently they write roles for a lot of actors. That's a very common thing for them to do. And he read everybody keeps making comments about him being funny looking. And he called up the Coens and's like, so do you want me to like, do something with my nose or like mess up my face a little for the role? Silence. And then he had the sad realization that he's funny looking because he's funny looking.
He is funny looking, but he's also a great actor.
He
Yeah.
is a great actor and he was great in this movie.
Mm,
Alrighty. What about 97?
all right, so 1997. I wish we were born. Slash, maybe actually, I would have to age it back because Jurassic Park one. I would have, yeah, I would have been born in like the mid to early 80s to then watch Jurassic. In any event, I wish I saw Jurassic one when it first came out, and I wish I was like aware of all like the hype around it. But it's okay. I had Godzilla that came out, like, and I had like all my movies. But then when Jurassic Park two came out,
Mm-hmm.
that was so awesome. A lot of people don't like that movie. It's completely fine. A lot of people have a lot of different reasons why they don't like it. The acrobatic, I don't know, thing where the girl like kicks
It's
the
usually
velociraptor.
the one that gets a lot of attention.
I think it's cool, but the so to go back to Godzilla, what is it, like San Diego or
Yep.
I think the T Rex is in San Diego. Yeah, like just the rampage at the end,
Mm-hmm.
fantastic. Like I had actually, so my guitar. So my grandpa moved. He was like, "Oh, Leah, get all of your old stuff out." And I was like, "Oh, yes, okay, I'll get all my old stuff out." And some of that stuff was like really old, not just like high school yearbooks, but also like literal like toys from when I was a kid. I was like, "I'm not gonna throw this away. I'm not gonna do anything with it
That
either."
is fantastic.
Yeah, this is very old. The tail is
I'm
broken.
surprised you didn't pick Jurassic Park for 93.
Say what?
I'm surprised you didn't pick Jurassic Park for 93.
I thought Jurassic Park came out in 91.
Mm-mm.
Came out 93? Oh, well, screw what I said earlier. It would have.
Sorry, Rudy. You're out. Jurassic
Yeah.
Park is in. So
But
now we
yeah,
got a
definitely.
double dose of Jurassic Park. But yes, Lost World did some very interesting, different kinds of things. I think it felt a little bit darker and more like Crichton's novels a little bit than the first one because you kind of lose like the hopefulness and that like magic on purpose because you know the shiny is off. Now it's like wow, these can like kill you and stuff like that. And that's such a great moment where they like introduce Ian Malcolm and he's yawning.
Yeah, with the
That's
little girl, like yeah, like the it's like it transitions from screaming to yawning, or that one scene where you see like that trailer thing like hanging over like a cliff, and was that Julianne
Mhm.
Moore kind of
Yeah.
like she's like on the glass because she's on a cliff.
Yes.
The only thing that's keeping her from like falling is this glass, and it's cracking, and she's like moving like really slowly. She's looking up. Meanwhile, like two T Rexes are like eating a guy. Yeah, it's a great monster movie. It might not be kind of like it might lose grandeur, but what it makes up for in like violence and just kind of like wackiness, like it's just a sci-fi wackiness, and I love sci-fi
There you go.
wacky.
How about 1998, Matt?
1998, I went with Godzilla. The Godzilla that
Nice.
people get pissed off at. I super like it. I like what was it Jean Renault? Is that's his
I
name? The
love I love Jean Reno. He is so
Jean Renault.
great.
He's great. Uh I love the fact that there are two voice actors from The Simpsons, Nancy Cartwright and Hank Azaria, that are actual actors in this movie. Nancy Cartwright, she's like super small, but
Yeah.
what else do I like about the movie? Also, I mean, why are so many problematic people from our childhood that grew up to be like weird and terrible? But P Diddy and I think his name is Jimmy Page. That's a guy from Led Zeppelin.
Mhm.
They I forget the name of the song from Led Zeppelin, but the song that P Diddy featuring Jimmy Page had, they sampled it and they had like him, they had the guy like play the guitar, but it's called "Come with Me." It's great. I listened to it earlier today actually. I'm like, da 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 da. You know the song I'm talking about?
Kashmir.
There we go. Oh, so you're a fan? Okay. So like,
Yes. There's a
yeah.
new Led Zeppelin documentary coming out in February that I'm excited about becoming Led Zeppelin. So there you go.
No, it was the whole movie is great. Also, this movie spawned an animated series, which I also have
It
on
did.
DVD. And that show was also great too. Yeah, no, I like Godzilla. Actually, that's not even the only Godzilla movie on this list. So yeah,
Well, there you go.
yeah.
And Matt even loves Godzilla when he's a giant iguana. Well, how about 1999?
Everyone calls him a iguana. So The Matrix. The Matrix was my first ever rated R movie that I ever saw on VHS, and it was so like out there, just like because like think about it, right?
Mhm.
I'm a kid who
Yep.
maybe shouldn't have watched that actually, but it's okay, whatever. But the idea that everything you're a kid and then you're getting like thrown like like philosophical things that obviously no one talked about inside of school, right? Like
Yeah.
the idea that you are basically a brain in a jar. That's what actual reality is. And what you know is a fiction that was concocted by robots, but enough of that. Let's fight. Like that's so like
Whoa.
I every once in a while
We
I'll
know
still
Kung Fu.
whoa yeah like every once in a while like I'll just like let's see that Morpheus Neo fight again because like why not. And it was just also a great scene too when he's like out of breath and then Morpheus gets close to him and says, "Do you think that's air you're breathing right now?" Like, it's it's such a good movie. Everyone likes The Matrix. I showed my girlfriend The Matrix. She had never seen it ever, so I showed it to her like earlier this year. She liked it. She said that she didn't like Trinity's outfit, which I don't know if that's a review, but like, but she liked the
I don't
rest of the
know. I don't know, Matt. I liked Trinity's outfit. There's a lot of leather.
Oh yeah, throughout the whole movie. Yeah.
Leather and gray suits. That's basically all you get in this movie.
Mm,
Depending on if you're a part of, the team or you're an agent.
mm,
Which
mm,
also between Keanu Reeves, Carrie Moss, Joey Pants, um, Joe Pantoliano, Lawrence Fishburne, obviously, Hugo Weaving, just so many great performances. And it just, Matt and I have been having an argument with each other for about 10 years now, which is the greatest sci-fi action movie of all time. And Matt still pushes for The Matrix, so I'm not shocked that you picked this one. But Matt, how about it's the new millennium. What about 2000?
Okay, so small movie. Some of these movies, I'll like do like a preface. It's been so long since I've seen some of these movies, and I love them, but like my memory is pretty fuzzy. But so like this one is going to be one of those, like as an example. But there's a Ben Kingsley movie called Sexy Beast that
Beast.
came out in the year 2000. It is so odd, this movie, but in particular, I love it for Kingsley's performance because he's been in a lot of stuff, right? Like he was in Gandhi, he was in Schindler's List, like,
Mhm.
but then to see him go from like those characters to be someone so angry and violent
Yes.
and detestable
Yes.
and like it, you would have to like do a little bit of searching on YouTube to find like his tiny little monologue, but it's
Hmm.
this profanity laden. I haven't heard the F word so many times. I think he calls someone. Are you okay if we curse on this show or say
I'm
nasty
not
stuff?
monetized yet. Go right ahead.
I think he calls someone a cum bubble. That's crazy. That's
He,
crazy. Like that's who talks like that as an in
Jess
like
and I just covered Sexy Beast on one of my podcasts.
oh
And
cool.
and the fact that Jonathan Glazer, who made Under the Skin and The Zone of Interest, made this movie is wild. Ray Winstone, Ian McShane, and of course Ben Kingsley's Don Logan. It
No, no,
just
no, 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 no. It was
no,
great.
no, 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 no. The F you are, you're coming with me. The F you are, you're coming with me. The F you are, you're coming with me. It's just like the repetition, him saying the things in repetition. And he's just so damn good in that. And the opening is wild, like lobster burnt to a crisp with Ray Winstone in his Speedo. And then it just like turns, his crotch is in there, it's like sexy beast. I just like this movie. It's wild. It is a fantastic film. But yes.
Mm.
How about 2001?
You gotta go with Shrek, man. You gotta
Nice.
go with Shrek. You gotta go with Shrek. Shrek is a fantastic movie. I don't know if it's because of the Matrix reference in it, which was great, uh, or if it was like that ending song. And then also it
I'm
made
a believer.
me, I'm a believe. Oh, exactly, perfect. um, uh, and then also like to get to Shrek 2, you have to have a Shrek 1 and Shrek 2. Like I didn't want to have both on the list, but Shrek 2 I think is even like better than Shrek 1. And Shrek 1, in my opinion, is an A of like in terms of like if I were to grade that movie. It's great. It's great. I don't know if it needs to come back. I think aren't they like bringing something back? Doing
I'm
like a
ready for
spin-off?
Shrek 5. I don't know about you, but I'm ready.
I
2026.
I was ready for what was it, Shrek Forever After? I was ready for that too, and then I got burned. So I don't
Well, Shrek
know.
Forever After was fine. Shrek the Third is probably the most disappointing movie in my life. Single, singly, Singling out Shrek the Third is the most disappointing movie experience I've ever had in my whole entire life. Because after Shrek and Shrek 2, it was just a massive disappointment. But no,
That'd be like your next video, like a timeline of your worst movie experiences.
that's up there. Just so
Mm,
disappointing. But no, I could probably quote Shrek from start to finish. So there you go.
great.
I'm Robert Neville from I Am Legend, Will Smith's character who could just quote Shrek from start to finish because he watched it so many times. That's
Mm.
me. Now, Matt, what about 2002?
All right, so 2002, uh, 28 Days Later. 28 Days
Oh,
Later is a fantastic movie. I was like going through, like making like this list, and I was like, oh crap, it's not like a lot of horror. So then I crossed out what I originally had. I forget what it was. And then I put in 28 Days Later. 28 Days Later is really cool because the opening of this movie, or like the whole famous like emptying out of Piccadilly Circus, and just having like someone just like waking up from a coma inside of a hospital, and the hospital
Mm,
being empty, and then the entire like pop like metropolitan like whatever like is like completely empty. It's incredibly eerie. Um, just like the idea of being completely alone, and obviously he's not alone forever because then
yeah.
things get worse. But just like the idea of being completely alone, and like you have like there's zero context, like
Yeah.
zero context. It's so creepy and scary. And then when he finally does meet a human, he realizes, oh, like this person is sick. Like this person is trying to like chase and attack me. And it has what's the guy's name that was Mad Eye Moody from Prisoner of
Brent,
Azkaban?
Brendan Gleeson.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. Like he had the
That
he
kills me.
he had the weirdest like zombie turn ever. He like looked up and a crow was eating like some piece of meat or something like that, and then like a bit of blood gets into his eye, and then that turns him like
Yeah.
like, damn it, I liked
That
him.
was
But
devastating. And then you have Chris Eccleston, who's leading that barracks. Guess what, Matt? The humans are the real monsters.
honestly, yeah,
And
yeah.
God, 28 years later, bring
I
it.
watched I watched the trailer like three times when it dropped. I thought it was fantastic.
Mm,
I think I'm
that's how you
incredibly
do a
excited.
trailer.
And also, like
100%.
some people don't really like 28 Weeks Later, but I actually like that movie. Had Idris
Oh,
Elba in it.
that opening is like top tier openings for a movie. My God.
Mm,
How about 2003, Matt?
2003. Okay, so I kind of cheated because I didn't really like anything that came out in 2003. Or at least I couldn't find anything. So the cheat is it came out in America in 2023, even though if you go on Google, it says 2022, but it's City of God. City
Okay.
of God is a Brazilian, yeah, Brazilian movie about life in just an incredibly rough, like rough neighborhood, and all the characters just figuring stuff out and growing up instead of like a really rough situation. And it is like there's some scenes that are like kind of hard to watch, but like, specifically
Mhm.
because like, some of the scenes involve
A kid with
kids.
a gun
Yeah, like kids
and
committing
kids.
violence. Yeah, like people killing each other. But again, like yeah, there's like a lot of stuff going on. And yeah, I mean, if you're not afraid of subtitles, you should watch City of God.
It's an amazing film, and I won't be offended that you didn't pick Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King. How about 2004, Matt? Do you hate Lord of the Rings?
I mean, I did. I do love that movie. Honestly, I think that's the best out of the three. But for some reason, I was just like, I was like, I don't want to go. I don't want to do that one. But no, good movie, great movie. It got Best Picture. It got what did it got like 10 Oscars. Like it doesn't need me to validate it.
Record tying 11.
Yeah.
How about number 2004, Matt?
Ooh. Okay. So The Incredibles. That also has
Nice.
really awesome and very. What's the word? What word could I use? If I would hear any snippet of the music, I would be able to like, oh, that's The Incredibles. Like,
Yeah.
there's the Married Life one, da, 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 or like the kind of like the action scene ones. The music is great. The comedy is
Like
great.
that jazzy Michael Giacchino score is just so
Yeah,
good.
and I think he also did the music for Up. Yeah, Up. Yeah, which that's a sad conversation. So
Yep.
let's keep it upbeat. But I think anyone that was born in the year that we were born can quote word for word, "Honey, where's my super suit?" scene.
I need to. It's for the greater good. I'm the greatest good you ever.
I am your wife.
I am. What this
So
is a PSA on how to not piss off your wife.
yes, please don't cancel
Learn your lesson,
reservation.
Frozone. But just like syndrome. Huh, you caught me monologuing.
Yeah, that
You and
was. Oh yeah,
Elastigirl?
I feel like that's I do that a bunch.
Yeah,
Cap is it? Yeah, crazy.
and then just, no case. And just the whole family. It's the best Fantastic Four movie we ever got.
Mm-hmm. It's great, great. I'm hoping that the new Four movie is good. I don't
Here's
know.
to
I like the
hoping.
cast. Yeah.
I do too. How
Mm-hmm.
about 2005?
2005. We're going Revenge of the Sith.
Nice.
Episode 3 is an awesome movie. I think if someone says that all the prequels are bad, A, maybe you need to kind of like put on your childhood wonder glasses and then rewatch them. But even if you don't watch them with the childhood wonder glasses on, specifically this last one, excuse me, I think it deals with like the darkness and the hopelessness and of a movie or like a series that like for the most part like is pretty it's like happy and light, and yet in this movie you see like Anakin like right before like the scene cuts he's about to like kill children, like there's like
Mhm.
so much. And then also like I think don't they go to the Wookiee planet or something like that, and then they kind of like
The
attack
sheep.
it. Yeah, and they kill everybody. Yeah, it's sad, it's wild. There are you see Yoda in the second time that you see Yoda fight, if I remember correctly. Like he's
Yep.
like fighting like Darth Sidious. That's how you say his
Yep.
name.
Yes.
The Emperor. How do you say the
Yes.
Emperor's name? Okay, yeah, Darth Sidious. And they're like in the that Senate room and stuff like that. Yeah,
Hmm.
it was great. It was the whole movie's great, and then like you like it tied right into like episode 4, which is the first movie, obviously. Yeah, I don't know. I think if someone doesn't like the Phantom Menace, I think people have to, at least in my opinion, I like Phantom Menace. Like Duel of the Fates, like who doesn't like Phantom Menace? But like, I guess a lot of people. But if you don't like Phantom Menace, at least try to give the other two a chance. But then don't watch the ninth movie because that will make you sad and angry. How do you feel about that, Shane?
Oh, it's so funny because it's definitely the generation we grew up in that you are a prequel apologist, but is going guns a blazing at Rise of Skywalker. Revenge of the Sith is a legitimately really good movie, minus any time that Anakin and Padme talk to each other. Like, if you just ignore those parts of the movie, it's a great movie.
It
But
was
no,
also a great video game too for the PS2. Wait, can I find it?
yep,
Try to find
it's it's basically like Revenge of the Sith is what we all wanted out of the prequels.
it.
There you go. Yep. But
It was
yes,
great.
at least Phantom Menace has the Duel of the Fates sequence because that is just chef's kiss. How about
Cinema.
cinema? There we go. How about '06? Are we getting a Scorsese film here?
No, honestly, I don't know if I even put him on here, which I should have, but I put on '06. I put Children of Men.
Nice.
Children of Men is awesome. It is
Yes.
directed by the same guy that did Prisoner of Azkaban and
Mhm.
also that did uh Y Tu Mama Tambien, I think as well. And some other stuff. He,
Gravity,
yeah,
Roma.
yeah, Coron. I need to watch Roma again. That was a really good movie, and it's literally on Netflix. I have no reason not to watch it, but I could really like that movie. But Children of Men, the camera shot, that one take. Oh, whoa, whoa, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, do you remember that one take in the car where the camera is just kind of like Like,
It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. This film is full of some of the best one takes you're ever going to see in movies.
mm, if I remember correctly, again, this is another example. It's been a while since I've seen this movie, but if I remember correctly, very sad ending, right? Yeah,
It's hopeful, but
I don't want. There's
also
something that I don't want to
tragic.
spoil. Mm,
Yeah,
yeah, but
it it kind of
five all in.
balances that.
He's, mm, yeah, no, it was Children of Men. Children of Men is just a great movie. If you like watching like apocalyptic kind of
Mhm.
stuff, then Children of Men should definitely be. If you like apocalyptic stuff that's not like YA fiction, then you should watch Children of Men.
There you go.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. And then
2007.
2007. Um, sometimes I'll quote Juno, the movie's Juno. I'll quote the line where Elliot Page's character says to Michael Cera, like, "You're so cool, and you don't even try." And Michael Cera says, "I'm not gonna lie, I try really hard," or something like that. I love that line. Or the like, "I think I'm pregnant." You're not pregnant. It's probably just a food baby. Every once in a while, I'll think of myself when I have too much to
Mhm.
eat. I'll just tell myself it's just a food baby. But no, it's a great movie. Diablo Cody. I don't know if I don't know if Diablo Cody has written anything that I've liked more, which is unfortunate because it's been because like I think that she's pretty funny and I like Jennifer's Body and some other stuff that she's done, but Juno, I
Mhm.
think is like her best movie. Jason Reitman. Then he's the one that directed Saturday Night that came out this year, and
Yes.
he and obviously he did a bunch of other random stuff too. And his son did the Ghostbusters movie, I think. So
That was
cool.
him that did the Ghostbusters movie.
Oh, that was him.
Ivan Reitman's his dad, who made the original Ghostbusters.
You're right. You're right. There we go. There we go. There we go. Yeah,
Yep.
but J.K. Simmons, like everyone, everyone is great.
Mhm.
Everyone is great. It's a great
Absolutely.
movie.
It is a great movie. And as you get older, you realize how much of a creep Jason Bateman is. Um,
Yeah, yeah. I honestly I didn't. That's funny you say that because I didn't really get that. When I was younger and I first saw the movie, I kept thinking like, why is Jennifer Gardner's character like she's like such a drag, like just be cool. But then like, I had to watch
mhm.
it again, and it's like no, like he's like a deadbeat, like he's like bad.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's
You know,
interesting.
we mature.
Yeah, definitely.
2008.
2008. 2008 is one of the movies that you and I first talked about. Let the Right One In. It
Oh,
is
nice.
a Swedish, also good. It's a good book too, but it's kind of long, a little bit long. Ish. Swedish vampire movie about a 12-year-old boy who is being like just bullied beyond belief,
Mhm.
and he has zero confidence, and through his crush on who he thinks is a 12-year-old girl, uh he has a little bit more confidence, or at least like has like a friend to help him like navigate the fact that like he's getting bullied like at school and then at home he's dealing with his parents' divorce. Um, and it was like a really interesting, like haunting, like love story, but also it's very violent and very
Yes.
bloody. So like I wouldn't just recommend it to like any like there's like limbs and like people dying and kind of like in a way where the camera just like stays on the action on like the violence. So yeah, so that's pretty wild. Um and the ending, which like stays true to how the book ends, which is pretty cool. Um yeah, basically like the ending is a question of, hey, so like if you fall in love with a vampire and you're a human and it is your job to it's basically your job to be kind of like like the helper, like the Renfield, basically to this uh to this vampire girl. Like this
Mm,
crush is going. You two are like a crush, but then like you are going to grow older and die, and she will still stay forever. How the old she is, kind of like Kirsten Dunst in Interview with the Vampire.
yeah.
Like you are frozen that age, which is like kind of disturbing to think about. Like immortality, but you are also like a kid. I don't know. So that would be kind of a drawback. But yeah, no. In any event, fantastic movie. But and then Shane and I, when I first met Shane inside of a film appreciation extracurricular, like in
Mhm.
college, that was one of the movies that he and I discussed. That and The Devil's Backbone by
Yeah.
Guillermo del Toro. Also, uh, foreign language. That one's in Spanish, not Swedish, but great movie. Both great movies. I couldn't
Yeah,
fit that in the list.
Let the Right One In is a haunting and beautiful film. And
Mm,
it there's so many great moments like in the pool.
hmm.
It just that's in some incredible filmmaking. All right, 2009.
2009, I have Inglorious Bastards.
Very
Inglorious
nice.
Bastard. I remember the because this was after I saw uh, like Pulp Fiction and Kill Bill, and then I think at some point I ended up watching Reservoir Dogs, and I was like, okay, I'm all in. This director guy,
Yeah.
dope as hell. So then when I saw the trailer for Inglorious Bastards, and you should rewatch the trailer, Shane. It's a really fun trailer.
Hmm.
Like he's hit it out of the park again. Like I think it is a fantastic, masterful movie. Like I think it makes me wish that I knew multiple languages because people are just like flipping back and forth between
Hmm.
English and then Italian and then German. I think I forget if someone's French in there, but like, yeah, it's a great World
Yes.
War II movie. It's not it it kind of plays a little like loose with the rules in terms of staying like historically accurate. The point of it isn't to be historically accurate. The
No.
point of it is to be like just as it's almost kind of like a it's like equal parts fine dining in terms of like okay this is cinema and then also
Yeah.
kind of like a thrill ride
Hmm.
because like you're like an amusement park because man that theater scene when they find Hitler,
Make them
yikes!
Swiss
I was
cheese.
like, yeah, to make some Swiss cheese. Yeah, dude went down. Dude went down. Like they made
This
sure he.
is this is certainly that balance of some like really refined filmmaking and that like exploitation kind of like 70s cinema that Tarantino loves so much. And the movie ends with a very prophetic line. I think this might be my masterpiece.
Mm,
And he definitely was doing that on purpose. This is actually my favorite Tarantino film, so I'm definitely down for this pick.
interesting. I didn't know that. Okay, okay. Does Christoph Waltz does he still act? I feel like I don't see him in anything. Does he still act?
He was in something this year. I'm trying to remember what it was, but yeah, he's still going.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Makes me
I hope
happy.
he gets a role like a Tarantino film again. So like, because he's done some of his best work on film, at least in Tarantino films. How about
Mm.
2010?
Okay, so like don't get mad at me, but I originally had Inception, and then I swapped it for a superhero movie. Don't get mad. Don't get mad. But but I recommend this one. You can borrow my DVD when next time I see you. But this movie, DC, what it does is that like obviously it has like the cinematic. Well, I guess it's going to reboot its universe or
Yeah.
whatever. But uh, what it also does is that it has like its own kind of sort of kind of like universe, but also has like these one shot um like animated adaptations of like really like well-known stories.
Yeah.
A lot of it is like Batman, there's some Superman, there's some other stuff, there's some Elseworld stuff, but uh Batman and then it's things called Under the Red Hood, which is also a cool story too, where
Got that
basically
on Blu-ray.
oh you got it.
Yeah, I have a bunch of the Batman animated movies because a lot of them are great.
How many DVDs do you have like in total? Do you know the number?
2050.
That's a handful. That's a handful of DVDs. Dude. But no. So basically, the premise is everybody knows who Batman is. Everyone knows who Robin is. I guess maybe a little bit less people know that there are multiple Robins, and maybe even a little bit less people know that one of those Robins ended up getting killed by the Joker. And what they decided to do is bring him back based on a lot of stuff I don't feel like getting into, but they brought him back, but kind of like Pet Cemetery, like what's the line? Sometimes like dead is better.
Hmm.
This Robin comes back and he is I mean eventually he'll turn into an anti-hero and then like he's like cool, but for a bit like he's pissed off and he's violent and he's not a hero. He actually is doing a lot of stuff that like a Robin would never do. Um, but no, so great, and I love this movie. The thing that clinches it uh, is at the very end of the movie, after all these terrible things happen, uh, you get a flash, like a super far flashback to that Robin who ends up growing up and then gets killed and then turns back and gets
Hmm.
resurrected and turns bad. It ends on a flashback to the Robin that you've been interacting with through the whole film. On his first day as being Robin, and I think he says something like, "This is gonna be the best day of my life." And then like that goes to credits, and even like me thinking about that now, it kind of gives me chills because it's really sad. It's like this kid had all this like this hope, like he has no idea that like the horrors that like await him. Um, so yeah, comics, comics are cool. Basically, comics are cool.
Under the Red Hood's a really awesome Batman story. So if you haven't checked it out, you should definitely check it out. How
Yeah,
about
I have it
2000?
somewhere over
Yeah,
there.
2011.
2011. 2011 had the second part of the Deathly Hallows, Shane. That
Mm,
movie, like, if you were a fan of only the books and then maybe you just wanted to try out the movies, if you're a fan of only the movies and you're like, like screw it, or if you're a fan of both, or if you just wanted to be a part of the zeitgeist, you saw that movie, man. You saw that
yes.
movie. Like that movie was fantastic. And like, I don't know, it the ending itself like brought like tears to your eyes. I think I actually, so I read all the books and I actually kind of like how the movie kind of like does like stuff a little bit different with the Voldemort fight. Um,
Mhm.
I don't know. I think it had a little bit just more like or whatever. But yeah, no, dude, it was great. It was a great movie. Like
It
great.
it
Ray Fiennes
was
as the Snake Man is great.
it was the end of such a big important journey in my life because growing up reading all the Harry Potter books and seeing all the movies, it just hit on so many satisfying emotional levels, and I can't hear the word always the same way ever again. So
That's yeah, and I'm not going to spoil with that one thing. I won't spoil what that means for anyone that doesn't know what that is. But yeah, it's
it
but beautiful.
hits. Yes. 2012.
2012. All right, so there's a movie. There's a movie called Akira. It came out in 1988. It's
Mhm.
fantastic, like movie. I've read a good chunk of actually these white ones. Like yeah, those are some of the books. I still need to read like the last one, the last two, no, the last one. Um, but no, highly recommend it. and it's been referenced to hell by so many other like artists, and even like Kanye West even had it, another problematic person. In There's like snap shots of Akira in the Stronger music video, and like he like took some like interesting like shots or whatever like that. Movie Chronicle, which came out in
Mm,
2012, is it's definitely not a one to one because I feel like there's other ideas thrown in there,
mhm,
obviously mostly original, but then also like ideas from other things too. But Chronicle is a really awesome movie. A, because if you like Akira, um, then or if you just like superhero stuff, or if you like sci-fi stuff, or if you like just really like Michael B. Jordan, like it's
yeah.
fantastic. So I just finished watching all the seasons of SWAT on Netflix. Highly
Mhm,
recommend it. But then also the main character guy inside of besides Dane DeHaan,
yeah.
who's one of the main characters inside of Chronicle. But the other guy, like his friend or his cousin or something like that, is in SWAT, which is
Mm,
he played the character Street, which is cool. But Chronicle is fantastic superhero movie, but it's very dark. It's not
yes.
like it's not silly or like there's something like madcap about it. It's
Mm,
just I don't know. It's if you took teenagers, specifically, especially in particular, one who has like a terrible like home life, and but if you took a group of teenagers and you gave them superpowers, how would they use and abuse those gifts?
mhm.
And yeah, and then you know what happens. They tear
It's
up a
a
neighborhood.
it's a
They tear-
raw found footage film that is so unique for a superhero movie. And what the hell happened to Josh Trank?
yeah,
Crazy.
yeah,
What a
Fantastic Four, like that movie. Like, what was that? Come on, dude.
what a fall from grace after this amazing jumping off point. How about 2013?
I put Before Midnight. Before Midnight, I also showed my girlfriend, and it made her cry.
Oh,
But honestly, I feel like that's like good. Maybe because I like when like art makes people move. It makes me kind of like emotional too. Honestly, Before Midnight is the third movie in the Richard Linklater Before trilogy, um, and it's just a great love story. If you like movies where people talk a lot, then if you like dialogue, if you're a fan of if you're the type of person that cares maybe more when you're watching the Oscars, you care more about original screenplay than you do like best picture or something like that. Like this movie is for you. Like it's just great. Like it'll just have like characters talking about love and loss and like grief and like philosophy and intimacy, and then it'll oscillate between like those abstract things to then kind of like a concrete like in the moment in real time happening stuff like parenting or
mm,
like losing a job um or like divorce. It's really awesome how well it just kind of like it tackles so much stuff. And
mm.
even if the whole movie is just talking and talking, talking, like I love to hear what they have to say. I truly love to hear I think it was last year. My girlfriend and I we watched all three of them. I wanted to show
Mhm.
her like each one, and I have them all in the Criterion
You sure
collection.
do, Matt.
Oh yeah, you gave it to me. Yeah. Thank you for that. And Lydia, thanks you too. But yeah,
Yep.
but you know, great movie.
Before Midnight is definitely the most mature of them. And it's so interesting seeing them finally together, but in a middle-aged relationship where they are having problems. Because like the first two films, it's that longing for each other, that young youth, or she's the one that got away and now you're with her, and then realize, like, hey, like regular stuff happens. Like you have fights and you have concerns, and some people do things they regret, which is why my wife hates this movie because uh
Mm-hmm.
somebody does something to betray their partner, And then said partner kind of just accepts it in the end. I'm very interested to see if we get um before noon, maybe. And see where they are after like another 10 years or so. I'm down for it. But it's a fantastic film. 2014.
I'm gonna swap it. I'm gonna swap 2014 Godzilla actually for a different movie. I wanted
Okay.
to talk about the God movie because Godzilla using his atomic breath on the Muto, which was like
The coolest thing
the
ever, yes.
yeah, like the wallpaper for my phone and for my laptop for like a year after that came out. I'm gonna swap that for Nightcrawler.
Ooh.
Nightcrawler with Jake Gyllenhaal. I don't know. That movie, it's so odd. Like his character. Like I feel like he and like maybe like Travis Bickle from like Taxi Driver. I feel like I don't know, I feel like they would go to Applebee's together, and I would leave while they're kind of like walking in, like because I wouldn't want to hang. But yeah, no, that movie is so great. Jake Gyllenhaal is such like a fantastic actor. Like he's one of the actors that did one of those GQ your life in cinema kind of like your
Mhm.
filmography kind of things, and like just to hear him talk, just such like an interesting, cool person. You ever like see like you watch a movie and you really like the actor, then you see like interviews with the actors, like, oh wow, this person's really interesting. I would want to meet this person in real life. Like he's so cool. But in this movie, he's completely completely detached uh from from humanity, and which you would kind of have to be a night crawler, like to
Yeah.
like look at violence and then your first instinct, kind of like that Civil War movie that came out earlier this year.
Mm.
Like your first instinct is to kind of like rush into a situation where people are in pain and dying and kind of figure out how to like depict it and maybe even figure out how like to monetize it, and is there ethics with that. He obviously doesn't really care at all about ethics as a journalist or whatever, but yeah, no, great
Mhm.
movie, Nightcrawler. Everyone should watch it. I think it got taken up
Jake
in I think it's maybe sad, but yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal is haunting in that, and I love Rene Russo and Bill Paxton in it too. Um, so fantastic. It is an eerie, uncomfortable experience, and I think that might be why he didn't get nominated for Best Actor. Um, and
Too
also it
scary.
seems like a lot of people in Hollywood don't like him. It appears because he's a uncomfortably intense person. How about 2015?
2015. So I think. Wait, can you Google something for me? I'm almost
Sure.
positive. Beasts of No Nation was directed by Cary
Yeah,
Fukunawa, who who kind of like helped create and direct a bunch of episodes for Detective,
it
and
is
also
2015 confirmed.
excellent. Okay, yeah, but that was Cary Fukunaga though.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, yeah, yeah. Like I recommend this other movie that created that he I think he wrote and directs called Sin Nombre. It's about like this it's about violent stuff happening. But this movie also about violent stuff happening, child soldiers, and uh it's Idris Elba as a military leader in I forget what country in Africa, but it's a movie about like trauma, and it's a movie about kind of like you like like innocence just being completely like, taken away when you hand a child. I don't even know how old this kid is. He looks like he's like 10 years old or like 9 or something like years old. Like innocence completely taken away. Aside from like other like even more somehow even more disturbing things that were kind of alluded to happening to this kid, but with it soldier aspect when he's handed a gun and he and kids like him are asked to do kind of this like unspeakable things because and it's unspeakable obviously because it's a kid. And also there's this really cool, but it's interesting. like a movie to depict something like that because it is real. Like that stuff does happen. And I also thought it was interesting. Easily one of like the best. Just like there's like a one take really awesome thing that happens in True Detective. There's a really cool one take thing that happens inside of like this movie where you're kind of following this kid. Is he like in a trench? He's doing something, and it's like muddy, and it's been a while since I've seen it, so I can't remember like everything in HD in my head. But like, yeah, it's like a movie that you don't really necessarily even want to watch multiple times either. But the one time you do watch it, it's like, oh wow, this guy's a great director. And he ended up directing the last James Bond movie, which also was cool too. What
Yeah.
was that called?
No Time to Die.
No Time to Die. No Time to Die. And he ends up dying. But yeah, no, great movie.
Spoilers, Matt.
Oh,
Um, but no, Beast in No Nation is a very powerful, impactful film. Idris Elba's fantastic, and it's on Netflix because that was like one of the first high profile of Netflix original movies. How about 2016?
2016 is split, man. 2016 is split.
Nice.
Um, did I see that with you? Did I see it with you or no? I know I saw Glass with you. I don't know if I saw a split with you.
I saw Glass with you. We didn't see Split together.
Maybe I saw it with Joe. But so Joe and I are mental health therapists. There's a mental health therapist inside of this movie. Not the main character though. The main character is a young woman who, with her friends,
Yep.
is imprisoned, kidnapped, and then imprisoned by James McAvoy, Anya Taylor Joy. But he isn't just your run of the mill kidnapper, which is a weird phrase. He has multiple. He has dissociative like personality. Like he is truly, uh, and he's like violent, and he's like a lot of other things. So he's like truly like mentally ill. But then that's not the twist. Technically, this movie has two twists. The biggest twist, obviously, is the fact that it's connected to the Unbreakable, like
Mm,
film from like 15 years prior or however many years prior with Bruce Willis. But even before that, the twist is that he's not just like he's not just like mentally ill. He also has superpowers, and you can
yes.
tell because he can crawl on walls and he can bend like metal, and he like in his body starts to change, and
Yep.
he's stronger. He's the beast. He
The
has like other,
Horde.
yeah, the horde. There we go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like there's a bunch of random stuff happening inside that movie, but it is so great. I didn't get to see what is it? Speak No Evil. Is that the James
Mm,
McAvoy came out? I didn't get to see that this year, but I know that the internet liked it, so I need to make some time because James McAvoy stepping out of the good guy role and he's him being a bad guy, like it works. Did you like Speak No Evil, by the way? Super random. Did you like that?
I I generally liked it. He's
Oh,
amazing in it.
cool.
There's some things about it that I think kind of lose me a bit, but he was fantastic in it, and he's amazing in Split. It is something to behold. And that was like really that moment, it's like, oh my God, and like Shyamalan can still do it. And then Glass came out. And
Mhm.
pissed everybody off. Um, Matt, how about 2017?
2017 had Get Out. 2017 had I thought this movie was so fantastic. And I'm like, this is written and directed by that funny dude. Like the dude from that sketch thing, like Get Out was basically like a Hitchcock movie in the like but written by not just like someone in the 2010s, but also written by specifically like uh, like a black creative, which was really
Mm,
cool. And I love when I see stuff like that because like black cinema doesn't just like start and end with Spike Lee, right? There's like a lot of different people. There should be more
mhm.
people. But like Jordan Peele, what he did inside of that movie was so it was so fresh and cool, and it had like funny stuff. It had like social commentary. Like I don't think I can go on Reddit like a single day without seeing like a GIF, like some kind of reaction GIF, like or screen capture from the like from that movie. People love that movie. People, I remember when I first saw the movie, when you found out what's happening, like the twist inside of that movie, when you find out what's happening, like my whole theater like gasped and reacted as if it was like an Avengers movie. Like it would because the movie earned it, right? Like
Mm.
it was great. It was from the start of the movie that had like Childish Gambino's like Redbone like song in it, which is a great song, all the way to I forget the actress's name, but the person he's like Daniel Kaluuya, who's dating in the movie, and she's like sipping on like milk like through a straw, and she's like on the phone with him, and she's like her face is blank, but her voice is scared. Oh my goodness, what's gonna happen? Like I can't even do it with my face because I'm not an actor, but like it was great. The whole
He was
thing,
creepy, and
yeah,
that
it was like
Daniel Kaluuya was amazing in that. Catherine Keener and Bradley Whitford and Lil Rel,
TS.
TS, mother effing A. So there
TS.
you go.
Yeah, no,
Get
it's
Out
great, dude.
was incredible. 2018.
Annihilation, man. Good book. Good book. Didn't have the bear, which I don't know whose idea it was to create that monstrosity of an idea, but it worked. That worked as well as the
Mhm.
book. I think the book has like I don't even remember. Like, well, the book did like a lot of stuff that the movie didn't. Like the book had like a whole like submerged like structure that they were kind of like getting lost in or whatever. But this movie, I mean, it follows like a good chunk of the book, at least the first book anyway. Like, I think it has like four. Yeah, I think the series like four books or something like that. Um, this movie also sci-fi. This movie is action and it is horror
Yep.
and it's great. The bear, so the thing that I was talking about referencing the bear is one of the scariest movie creatures, and I've seen like a pretty good amount of horror, and I can confidently say that not only what the bear is, but how I'll just spoil it a little bit. That the fact that the bear speaks, but speaks in a very particular way, what it's doing, almost like a parrot in like a really dark way.
Mhm.
It is such an inventively disturbing creation, and that whole scene is like superb. But then also the whole movie is just like really good too. Because even though like I'll anytime I talk about like Annihilation, I'll always talk about the bear. But also like that end scene where you see her kind of like fighting her doppelganger, that's also really creepy. Like when you
Mhm.
think about it, almost like that movie, what is that movie? Us? Like, could you fight and overpower your doppelganger? Hopefully.
Especially when it's doing mirror moves.
Yeah.
Annihilation is a haunting, disturbing film from start to finish. And yes, that bear sequence, the whole tape that they find with the person's intestines, it's just, and the music, which I hate when trailers have awesome music and then they don't use them in the movies, but then this had the wah, 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 and the like really eerie, unnerving score in it and everything is bone chilling. But we're almost getting there, Matt. How about 2019?
Also, really good trailer too, by the way. I had
Yes.
to randomly say that. Really like the trailer for Annihilation. Um, 2019 is Avengers Endgame. Uh, Let me see. What do I think about Avengers Endgame? I got really annoyed at how they ended Infinity War. So I was like, well, I wonder how they're gonna almost to the point where I kind of felt like those people that say like like there's too many superhero movies they're like stringing us along like or what I just didn't like how they ended it, but how a 3 hour superhero movie. 3 hours. Um, a movie that ended up beating Titanic and Avatar as the highest grossing movie of all time. I think it made like $2 billion, something like that. Like,
And then Avatar took it back because James Cameron and is petty, and Disney's like, we can make more money.
yeah,
So
that's like a whole yeah. Those movies frustrate me actually. But no, Endgame was so great, even to the point where like they there's time travel in this movie,
mhm,
or the fact that you in the beginning of the movie you kill the villain, you kill the big bad
mhm.
that has been like haunting and kind of like screwing up everything for these heroes all these movies for 10 years straight. In the beginning of the movie you kill the big bad and then you realize, oh, so like now what, like what do we do now? Like it was such a I thought it was a smart movie. I thought it was a funny
Yep.
movie. Yeah, it was. Everyone loves like who didn't see like Endgame? You know what I mean? Like I dude,
I saw it three
I
times, and I
you
don't
so
do that.
how many times did you see it?
I saw it three times, and I don't generally see things more than once. So
Dude, I cried like the very end where Captain America was like dancing with his fiance or whatever the heck she
uh,
was at the very end.
Peggy,
Yeah, or that other time when Ant-Man, like Paul Rudd's character, kind of like finds out that like his daughter is all
daughter's
grown up, and
grown up.
he the way that he hugs her and then kind of like pushes her arm's length just to get a good enough look at her, just
Yeah,
because he's surprised that how old she is, and then like brings her back in again. Like, dude, like that. I was sitting next to like this grown man, this complete stranger, and he was crying. So I didn't feel bad. I didn't have to like
yeah,
put my up. Like, if he's crying, he can cry. I can cry. Like,
yes. We all can cry, Matt. And now we're into the 2020s. So let's do that taboo year. What about 2020?
okay. So I really wish that I saw this movie like in 2020, and it was taking me like way long. I remember you recommended it to me. It's a really small movie. I think it's still on HBO. Hopefully, because people should watch it. It's called Shiva Baby.
Yeah,
There were a bunch of random movies that came out in 2020. Actually, not many because a lot of stuff got pushed back. Unfortunately, that's sad. But like, yeah, Shiva Baby. It's a great movie. I think if I think there aren't many movies that make me feel so uncomfortable and
so
claustrophobic. Like it's like uncut gems level of tension.
yeah,
It's except it just there's no guns, and instead take the guns
just
away and
Jewish
replace
people.
it. Yeah, just replace it with like familial passive aggression. That's like
Yeah,
that's you stopped. Yeah, it's great. I don't, and then also the main actress, so I forget her name, but she
Rachel
was in
Sennott.
that's her name. So she was also great in Bottoms too. I know she's
Yeah,
in a bunch of other random stuff, but I really liked her in Bottoms.
bodies, bodies, bodies. She was into.
Yeah, she was in that. Yeah. She's a great actress, great actress. But no, thank you for the recommendation. Shiva Baby. I
Yeah,
let that one like almost slip through the cracks of my fingers, so I'm happy about that. Okay, so
2021.
I was in the car earlier today, and for some reason my Spotify playlist started playing Dune. Like it was like I think the theme is called Paul's theme,
Mhm.
and my dad was in the passenger seat. And he's like, "Why are we listening to Christmas music?" And I was like, "Oh, we can go back to Paul McCartney's like One of Christmas Time in a second. Like, can we just like finish?"
Mhm.
Like, dude, it was great. It was the whole movie, so fantastic. Like, like Hans Zimmer, right? That's the composer for
Mhm.
Dune.
Dune.
The sandworms, like just like the look of it. When the trailer came out, I never read the books. I feel like I've heard of Dune before, but just kind of like I think I've seen kind of like tiny little like snippets online of the movie of like the what is that, the 80s movie? Is that when that came
Yeah,
out?
David Lynch.
Yeah, like so like I never actually gave it too much thought. I just knew it was just I just knew the word spice meant something, and then there was like some kind of like some kind of bratty person, and then there's like these worms that like attack people. But then this movie was so great and fun. It was like, and then it was even like topped by the second movie by Dune
Mhm.
2, like which came out this year, right? Not
Yep,
last year, this year, yeah. So
2024.
yeah, but like Dune 1, which is not a short movie either, but Dune 1 is such like an interesting, like if you like sci-fi or if you like elevated cinema or whatever, like if you like whole like really cool like ensembles of casts, if you like really interesting music, yeah, just watch it. Just watch it. But definitely watch. I think there's like some kind of like they're like short videos of Hans Zimmer kind of like saying, yeah, I had an idea of what I wanted to do for the music. So what I had to do is that I had to literally sometimes like invent instruments. And that's what you hear. That's my brain can't even like comprehend that. Like I'm learning how to play guitar.
Mhm.
I'm proud of myself for knowing how to play Frosty the Snowman. And this guy's out here making instruments.
Yeah.
Super awesome. Like I was so impressed by that. But yeah, Dune, 2 thumbs up.
Dune obviously has made quite the impact, and then so did Doom Part 2. How about 2022?
You invited me to a press screening of Tar, and I really appreciated that. I've only seen it once, and maybe I should watch that again because that movie, I feel like that movie is like chock full of like really interesting scenes. Also, not a short movie either, but
No.
Tar, Kate Blanchett. Honestly, if her and Woody Allen's Blue Jasmine, also a problematic person. There's a lot of problematic people, Shane. But um, like her Blue Jasmine like performance solidified her as one of my favorite actresses like ever. So then her in this movie, a movie about like a lot of stuff. There's kind of like people in positions of power being abusive to their employees and interns, and kind of like how that like dynamic kind of plays out and the consequences of that. This whole movie is like based around like consequences. And consequences happening to someone, to a creative person, uh, who like I feel like in real life sometimes the fact that someone is smart or is talented, sometimes like that kind of overtakes the crappy behavior that they commit. But this movie basically like kind of like puts the screws towards like this person who is like, I think this person like in the movie has like an EGOT, and this person
Mhm.
is like about to she's like getting ready for like this like concerto or whatever you call it. Like there's like a really big deal inside this movie, and everything is kind of like slowly it's like cracking all around her because of the
Mhm.
decision that she made. And at the very end, like everything just like the bottom falls out, and she and her career is like irrevocably like derailed. Is in a way. Not,
At least to
yeah,
her.
yeah, at least to her. Yeah, at least to her.
It's kind of like a Wolf of Wall Street kind of ending,
Mm,
where it's like, I can't believe where I've fallen from, except you're still in a great place, better than like 99% of people. So,
but she's better
uh,
than the person that she ended up abusing, who did something. Well, never mind. But yeah,
it's a
yeah.
fascinating film, and Kate Blanchett's amazing. They directed the hell out of that film. It's just such an engrossing and very topical film today. How about 2023?
2023 is Barbie. Barbie is better than Oppenheimer by far. I've seen both of those movies twice over, and Oppenheimer like was not a bad movie by like no means, but Barbie was like miles ahead of Oppenheimer, which you know I welcome the angry comments under this video you posted. I welcome it.
Well, I would disagree. too, Matt, but this is your life in film. But Barbie is a great movie.
Barbie. I'm a really big music guy. At least I'm listening to it anyway. Like I love the
Mhm.
soundtrack of Barbie, and I think that I don't think even I think that like I'm Just Ken should have won Best Original Song. I think the fact that like What Was I Made For by Billie
Mhm.
Eilish, just kind of like sweeping and grabbing everything in its path. I'm not really pissed off about that, like, because it's a great song. In both like it's what it's saying and then also just like how it sounds. But then and also what it's saying mirrors perfectly what like the whole one of the thoughts like behind Barbie. Like they're like aside from it being kind of like a social critique and maybe kind of like many people's introduction to like the concept of feminism and patriarchy, like ooh, like scary words. I'm
Mhm.
kidding, but like, but I think that like I don't know, like what it does is that it has a character who is the toy or kind of like a metaphor for kind of like toys in general, and then for this character to realize the fact like to realize like their own existence is like maybe ain't like the greatest, and I think that that's really interesting. It's almost kind of like Toy Story or iRobot. Not
Mhm.
iRobot. Oh my goodness. Iron Giant. iRobot. But like, yeah. Not to say that iRobot is a bad movie, by the way. It's a good movie too. But Barbie, Barbie's great, and also Barbie should have gotten a lot more nominations than it did.
It should have. Um, it the soundtrack's incredible. My number one song on Spotify last year was "Dance the Night," and just the performances are incredible. Margot Robbie's so great. Ryan Gosling as Ken. I'm Just Ken was a revelation. It is such an amazing song, and Greta Gerwig directed the hell out of that movie. Academy. Just throwing that out there, but
Mm-hmm.
it's Barbie was a fantastic time. I saw that twice in the same weekend and laughed harder the second time I watched it. So there you go.
Right.
But last one, Matt. What is your number one film of 2024?
Okay. So I haven't seen everything. So like I still haven't seen Monkey Man, which came out like so many months ago. I haven't seen multiple things. I think The Brutalist, apparently everyone's loving that. Um
I still need to
I think
see that too.
yeah, that's apparently it's like over 3 hours. So a
It's
part of
like
me is
three
kind of
hours and 35 minutes.
yeah, and I get nervous, not even because whether or not it's boring, but mostly it's because like, oh man, like I don't want to fall asleep. Like I felt like I was falling asleep when I saw The Irishman or whatever. That's it. Well, but that's a whole different thing. But my top movie for right now is Honora. Dude, that movie is hilarious. And also, that movie is very dark. Like
Yes,
extended scenes of like, let's just say bad stuff. Especially because this movie is like the most recent, so I feel like probably I don't. That's the one that I don't want to spoil the most. So I'll be as vague as possible. Like, there's bad stuff happening. Like you don't trust. I feel like these people, some of these people don't really have like intuition. They don't really follow. They don't have like a gut feeling of kind of like this is a bad decision. So and then when you end up not, I don't know, making thoughtful choices, and then you end up with super wild and wacky consequences, like
mhm.
being in wacky situations, and then having to deal with and clean up like really wild and scary and over the top like consequences and like messes and stuff like that. So like Honora, I thought was fantastic. I thought the ending, um, it took me a bit to kind of like think about it at the very end because it's kind of like, huh, that was a choice. And then I thought about it and then I like it. I think it's realistic based on like what happened to her
Mhm.
throughout the whole movie and for it to culminate into an emotional response like that. And also, well, never mind. Yeah, I don't spoil it, but yeah, great movie. I hope everybody in there continues to act. I don't know if the dude, the Russian kid, I don't know if the dude like he has been in anything before, but I hope he does stuff in the future because he was pretty funny too. He was very
He was
funny.
great.
Funny. Yeah. Did you
Mikey
see it before?
Madison, so good. Mikey
You did see him in
Madison.
the next one. Okay, cool.
Honora is my in my I was just writing an article about this. Honora's my number six movie of the year out of about 815. So it
Nothing
was
to
amazing.
take a stick out. The shake a stick at. Is that the
Yeah.
yeah,
It
shake a stick.
it was so good. And Sean Baker, I think, finally found that film that's gonna take that leap for him forward into like getting like some real attention after like the Florida Project and Red Rocket and Tangerine and stuff like that. But
Mm.
that is your life in film, Matt. I hope you enjoyed this little journey through your life and all of your favorite films from each year.
Thank you for allowing me to just to do my own little flashbacking. That was fun. Thank you.
And you're welcome for giving you a bunch of homework. But thank all of you out there for always tuning in and supporting your Wasteland Reviewer.